The best putters in the world get 4 things right when they make putts: a perfect setup, a perfect stroke, a perfect speed, and a perfect direction. Seymour's patented and proven rifle scope technology putting system helps golfers improve all 4 areas. Here's how. First, get in a comfortable posture. Square the face to the target line using the putter's alignment line. Then hide the red dot. Doing these 3 things will set you up in an optimal stance, square to the putter, square to the target line, and with your head, shoulders, hips, and hands in alignment. Now you're locked onto the target, like radar, free to putt with confidence the same way every time. Take your game to the next level by becoming a great putter with a Seymour.
Okay, Jason, here is a recap of the lesson that we did the other day. Sorry I didn't get it back to you earlier, but I had some things going on yesterday. But anyway, during our rain-soaked afternoon, here it is. So some of the things we kind of looked at, we kind of said that you're doing well is that your feet are shoulders width apart. That's a good start. This is Louis Oosthuizen. He is a PGA Tour player, British Open winner. Hitting a driver, so he's a little bit wider than you would be with an iron, but you can see how he's going to get into a wider stance here to kind of support his frame. And you will a little bit as well once you kind of work on the body motion that we talked to. Some of the things that you're doing still really well is ball position. So the ball position in the center of your stance is good, and we talked about having this little shaft lean here with your hands ahead of the golf ball. That's a picture perfect address position for your iron shots. You won't see your hands too far ahead when you have a driver because the ball position kind of changes a little bit. Ball position should be off your instep of your left foot when you're hitting driver. So all that at start is a really good point. So as you swing the golf club back, now some things start to change. All right, now we talked about the parallel position here. Most golfers hitting drivers don't let that golf club go past the parallel position of the ground. That's pretty much their full shoulder turn. PGA Tour players have a tendency to go a little bit further. Shoulders are in this fashion, and when they get to a full turn, they actually go a little bit past parallel with their shoulders, or at least past 90 degrees, I'm sorry. All right, and you can see that there. Okay, you've done the same thing. Good flexibility. All right, your shoulders are there. Right, you make that shoulder turn. Shoulders actually stop, and then your arms continue to go to make that backswing. So some of the things we would work on is more of a shoulder turn. We did work on the shoulder turn with the K-Vest. We kind of programmed you to straighten that left arm and go ahead and make that turn. All right, so you can kind of see the different positions throughout. So there would be halfway back, top, down, impact, okay, so you see how he's got a little bit more drive into the shot. Now towards the end we talked about having that your hips opened at impact, so let's kind of get to a different position here. We're going to use the different model. We're going to use Jordan Spieth. Okay, so here's where I want you to kind of focus. All right, I'm going to use you just as a comparison to yourself. All right, so the one on the left is the address position, and the one on the right is the impact position. So you can see, or very close to impact, you see there's very little hip action in that golf swing when you're going into that golf ball. All right, so now we take kind of Jordan here. All right, kind of focus that. So here's a address for both of you. All right, and let me just square it up a little bit better. There you go. All right, so there's the impact. Well, you can definitely see how he kind of sits into the shot and he gets to the top of his backswing here, and the majority right there is he's starting to push off the ground. All right, to use his body to square the golf club. And rather than, the less your hands or the less your body is moving, the more your hands have to be the work, do the work. So to recap some of the things we did the 9 o'clock, the 3 o'clock drill. You're going to swing the golf club back to 9 o'clock, no wrist involved, and swing to 3 o'clock. Right? This is going to rotate your hips better, right, and quiet your hands. All right. The other drill we kind of did was the pistol grip, where you get to the top of your backswing and you take that thumb off, right, and that's going to slow you down. All right. So those are the two things that are going to slow down the hands and speed up the hips. Right. Your last checkpoint is to get to that where that left shoulder touches your chin. Right. You want to have that straighter arm appearance. Right. And then make that kind of a 3/4 swing where golf club doesn't come all the way over to the back. All right. So it was nice meeting you. Thanks for being so flexible yesterday with my technical difficulties with the download. And good luck this season in school, and hopefully we see you soon.
Rory McIlroy is only 5'9", 161 pounds. But in the U.S. Open, he bombed his drives an average of over 310 yards. Our question is, how does a golfer Rory's size get so much length off the tee? The key to generating distance is what's called the kinetic chain, drawing energy from the ground up through the legs, through the torso, into the arms, and into the club. And in the middle of that kinetic chain is a critical link, the hips. And it's Rory's extraordinary hip action that caught the eye of Dr. Greg Rose. At the Titleist Performance Institute, Dr. Rose has worked with many of the world's best golfers, including Rory, using technology to analyze aspects of the golf swing that are difficult to see with the naked eye.
Rory's got that beautiful tempo, but as he comes through impact, all of a sudden something very different happens, which makes a lot of us sports science guys look at this and go, wow, what's going on there? If we look at hip speed, most amateurs are around 300 to 350 degrees per second. That's how fast they're rotating. Most tour players are around 550 degrees. Rory gets to this amazing 720 degrees per second on the downswing.
What's truly remarkable about Rory's hip acceleration is that it has another gear, reverse.
So if I'm looking at anatomy, you got to understand your abdominals, they run diagonally. Those are called your oblique abdominals. They start on your rib cage and they run down to your pelvis. So imagine it's like a rubber band attached to either side, and as that rubber band is contracting, it's going to grab both sides and pull them closer together. So in Rory's case, those abdominals fire so hard, it actually takes his lower body and it actually spins in the opposite direction. Right there, it's actually moving 377 degrees per second the opposite direction, which is just crazy.
In other words, for a split second, Rory's hips actually move backward faster than most golfers ever move their hips forward. This reverse rotation is extremely rare. Out of the hundreds of pros he's analyzed, Dr. Rose has only seen it a handful of times. And while it isn't the key to Rory's length, it's an amazing indicator of the intense torque Rory uses to generate ball speeds of over 175 miles per hour, among the fastest in the world. Of course, Rory McIlroy didn't win the U.S. Open just by being long off the tee. His ball striking helped him set the Open record, hitting an amazing 62 out of 72 greens in regulation. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
Well, the most important thing in a golf swing to me is the movement of the lower body from the top of the swing. And if you don't mind, I'll demonstrate. First off, you start down below with your knees and your hips. At the top of the swing, you move the lower part of your body, not your shoulders, the lower part of your body, letting your arms and hands follow, bringing you into position to hit. But this is the first movement, there. Then you release at the bottom. Most people do it entirely opposite. They rotate their shoulders first instead of their lower body. As a result, they come across the ball and hit the outside of the ball instead of the back of it. If you don't mind, I'll hit a ball, and the first thing to watch is what starts first from the top of the swing.